Have you ever read Napoleon Hill and felt like there was a piece of the puzzle missing? That one idea that everyone skips over, yet holds the key to extraordinary success. Most people rush through Hill's principles, desire, faith, persistence, but they miss a subtle, invisible pillar that silently supports every achievement. This pillar isn't flashy, it doesn't have a catchy name, and it doesn't get quoted in motivational videos. Yet it is the foundation upon which every truly successful life is built. Think about the people you admire, the inventors, leaders, and innovators. What did they have that others didn't? Was it genius? Luck, connections, yes, some had these, but there is one consistent trait that Hill hints at, time and time again, but rarely explains fully: the mastery of self through unseen forces. It's about controlling the mind, mastering emotions, and harnessing an inner conviction that is invisible to the outside world but tangible in results. This pillar is not taught in schools. It's not something you can buy or copy. It doesn't show up on LinkedIn profiles or resume highlights. Yet, Hill emphasizes it in stories of people who turned nothing into something, who took ideas that seemed impossible and brought them into reality. The secret isn't in action alone, it's in the mindset that precedes action, the internal blueprint that determines whether your effort bears fruit or fades into mediocrity. Here's the catch: most people think they understand Hill's teachings after reading a few chapters. They focus on goal setting, desire, and visualization, but they ignore this subtle, invisible mechanism, the ability to align your conscious mind with your subconscious drive, creating an unstoppable internal momentum. Without this alignment, desire remains wishful thinking, persistence becomes forced effort, and faith becomes fragile hope. In this series, we'll break down this invisible pillar step by step. You'll see how it operates quietly in the background, shaping results without anyone noticing. You'll learn why mastering it can multiply your efforts exponentially, turning ordinary goals into extraordinary outcomes. And by the end, you'll understand what Hill never fully spelled out: that success is less about what you do and more about who you become inside, silently, while the world is distracted by noise and action. This is the pillar most people miss. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. And once you harness it, your path to achievement takes on a clarity and force that most people spend a lifetime chasing blindly. The invisible pillar begins with one critical component: the subconscious mind. Napoleon Hill often mentions it, but most readers skim past the depth of its power. The subconscious is not just a storage place for memories or habits. It is a creative force, a silent engine that works 24/7 to shape your reality. Every thought, every emotion, every belief you feed into it influences the outcomes you experience. Think about it like this: your conscious mind is like a driver trying to steer a car. The subconscious is the engine beneath, responding to every input, accelerating or stalling based on how it's programmed. If the engine is neglected, filled with self-doubt, fear, or confusion, no amount of driving skill will get you far. But when it is aligned with your desires, fueled with clarity and belief, it becomes unstoppable. This is what Hill hints at but doesn't fully explain in a single chapter: the extraordinary results that come from programming your subconscious with precise intention. Most people fail here because they underestimate subtle repetition, emotional intensity, and belief. They read a success principle once, maybe write it down and expect change, but the subconscious responds to consistency, not occasional effort. It responds to emotion, not mere logic. This is why the invisible pillar is invisible. You can't see the shifts happening, but they're happening all the same. Your habits, decisions, and breakthroughs are all reflections of this quiet inner programming. Here's the practical truth: mastering this requires more than positive thinking or goal setting. It requires conscious input that engages the subconscious fully. It requires clarity in your vision, intensity in your belief, and repetition in your focus. When you feed it the right patterns, your subconscious becomes a partner in your success, working tirelessly even when you rest, preparing opportunities, and aligning circumstances in ways your conscious mind could never orchestrate. Hill's examples of triumph, men who built empires from nothing, weren't just lucky or hardworking. They were in tune with this invisible mechanism. They knew how to plant desires into the fertile soil of the subconscious, and it grew into tangible reality. Understanding this is your first step to seeing the invisible pillar at work in your own life. This is where most people stop. They see the surface principles, but miss the internal alignment that actually multiplies their results. Without harnessing the subconscious, all other efforts are scattered energy. With it, the invisible pillar begins to lift you, carrying you toward your goals in ways you can't fully perceive, yet can clearly experience. Faith is often talked about in Hill's work, but few realize that the kind of faith he refers to is not mere wishful thinking. It's a deep, unwavering trust in your ability to act, endure, and achieve, rooted in the invisible pillar that drives success silently. This faith is what turns thoughts into reality, ideas into tangible results, and plans into unstoppable momentum. Think about it. Belief alone is weak. Anyone can say, "I believe I can do this," yet falter at the first obstacle. True faith, the kind Hill emphasizes, is embedded in the subconscious. It doesn't just tell you to try, it convinces your mind that failure is temporary, that setbacks are lessons, and that success is inevitable if you persist. This faith is not taught by motivational quotes. It is cultivated through repeated mental conditioning, emotional engagement, and decisive action aligned with purpose. Here's where the invisible pillar shows its true strength. When your faith is integrated with your subconscious, it becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. The more you act with belief, the more your mind gathers proof of possibility. That proof strengthens faith further. That strengthened faith drives more bold action. It's a feedback loop invisible to anyone else but powerfully real to the person living it. Most people misunderstand this. They think faith is passive. They wait for luck, validation, or perfect conditions. But faith, as Hill describes it, is active. It is persistent. It is the quiet engine behind every bold move, every risk taken, every challenge overcome. It is the invisible pillar holding up the weight of your ambitions even when circumstances seem stacked against you. Without this faith, desire loses clarity, plans falter, and the subconscious lacks conviction. With it, every effort is amplified, every obstacle becomes surmountable, and your inner energy is aligned with your outer actions. This is why Hill repeatedly returns to the concept of faith, yet many readers never fully grasp its operational role in success. It is invisible, yes, but indispensable. To harness it, you must intentionally feed your mind with affirmations, visualizations, and repeated exposure to your goals, while emotionally committing to them. Faith becomes both shield and catalyst, protecting your mind from doubt and propelling it forward. This is the second piece of the invisible pillar, quietly holding your success together while the world chases the obvious, flashy strategies. Persistence is often hailed as a key to success, but Hill never presents it as merely sticking with it. In the context of the invisible pillar, persistence is the bridge between faith and results. It is the practical manifestation of your internal alignment, the evidence that your subconscious programming and unwavering belief are being put into action consistently. Think of persistence as a quiet, relentless force. It doesn't demand attention, it doesn't announce itself, yet it is what separates temporary effort from permanent achievement. Most people fail not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they give up too soon. They stop feeding the subconscious mind with repeated action, weaken the momentum of their faith, and break the invisible pillar that could have carried them to success. The invisible pillar relies on this consistency. Persistence ensures that your thoughts, beliefs, and subconscious programming are repeatedly reinforced. Every small action becomes a brick in the foundation of your eventual success. Even when progress seems invisible, persistence keeps the internal engine running, quietly reshaping your abilities, your mindset, and the opportunities around you. Hill provides countless examples of those who achieved greatness through persistence. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before perfecting the light bulb, yet his belief, combined with relentless effort, allowed the invisible pillar within him to work. Henry Ford, Walt Disney, and countless others demonstrate the same principle. It is not brilliance alone that creates results. It is the steady, unseen application of effort in alignment with internal conviction. Here's a key point many overlook. Persistence without alignment with the subconscious and faith can be exhausting and unproductive. It becomes forced effort, resulting in burnout rather than progress. But when driven by the invisible pillar, persistence is effortless in the sense that it is guided, intentional, and in harmony with your deeper inner programming. It propels you forward even when external circumstances push back, quietly sustaining your journey to extraordinary success. Understanding this transforms how you view obstacles. They no longer signal failure, they become feedback. Every setback is processed by your subconscious and faith, reshaped into strategy, and met with renewed action. This is how the invisible pillar manifests in your daily life, silently carrying you toward outcomes that once seemed impossible. Beyond the mind, faith, and persistence, the invisible pillar also operates through the subtle connections you build, what Hill refers to as the mastermind principle. This isn't about knowing famous people or attending networking events. It's about creating an unseen network of influence that reinforces your internal programming and amplifies your actions. Every person you interact with leaves an imprint, whether positive or negative, intentional or unintentional. Your thoughts, your energy, and your actions ripple outward, shaping the way others respond to you, and in turn, the opportunities that appear in your life. This is why Hill emphasizes surrounding yourself with the right people, not merely for skills, but to create a harmonious environment where your subconscious beliefs, faith, and persistence can thrive. Think of it like an invisible lattice supporting your internal structure. Every aligned relationship, every shared vision, every mutually reinforcing interaction acts as a reinforcement to the invisible pillar. It strengthens your belief system, challenges limiting thoughts, and accelerates the results of your actions. The more consciously you engage in these symbiotic connections, the more the invisible pillar works for you, extending beyond what you can see or control. Most people overlook this because they focus on transactional interactions rather than alignment. They seek contacts for immediate gain rather than building an ecosystem of supportive minds that elevate each other. Hill repeatedly illustrates that success is never entirely individual. It is co-created. The invisible pillar integrates these human connections into its framework, silently amplifying your power and making what once seemed impossible not only achievable but inevitable. This principle also explains why some people with extraordinary talent fail, while others with average abilities thrive. Talent alone cannot overcome misaligned relationships, lack of support, or a negative environment. The invisible pillar leverages the energy, knowledge, and encouragement of others, reinforcing your internal drive and ensuring that your actions are magnified rather than diluted. Mastering this element requires conscious awareness of whom you allow into your sphere, the energy you contribute, and the alignment of goals and values. When executed correctly, the invisible pillar becomes more than an internal force. It becomes a network of compounding influence, quietly propelling you towards success while the world chases visible, surface-level strategies. Now that we've explored the components, the subconscious mind, faith, persistence, and the invisible network of influence, it's time to understand how they integrate into a single, unstoppable force. This integration is the true invisible pillar Hill never fully names, yet it is the backbone of every success story he shares. Think of it like a symphony. Each element, thought, belief, action, relationship, on its own can produce noise, but when orchestrated together, they create harmony. Your subconscious mind sets the foundation, your faith fuels the engine, persistence drives continual progress, and your network amplifies impact. Alone, each is powerful, but together, they form an invisible structure that carries you through challenges, aligns opportunity with action, and transforms potential into reality. Integration requires conscious effort. You must actively feed your subconscious with clarity and emotion, reinforce faith through mental conditioning, apply persistent action, and cultivate relationships that resonate with your vision. This isn't passive. It's deliberate practice, a lifestyle of alignment, and an awareness of the unseen forces that influence outcomes. Every thought you entertain, every belief you embrace, every action you take either strengthens or weakens this pillar. Here's the transformational insight. Once the invisible pillar is active, you begin to experience synchronicity. Doors open seemingly without effort. Ideas crystallize with clarity. Challenges transform into stepping stones. The world may still appear chaotic, but internally you are guided by a force that is invisible to others yet profoundly effective. Hill's philosophy is not just about doing, it's about becoming, the person whose internal alignment naturally attracts success. Most people spend their lives chasing results while ignoring the invisible pillar. They focus on tactics, hacks, or shortcuts, unaware that the real multiplier of success is internal and unseen. By consciously building and integrating this pillar, you gain an edge that cannot be replicated externally. It is the quiet, invisible engine behind every extraordinary achievement, the principle most people never realize exists until they experience it firsthand. To make this work for you, start with awareness, align your mind and emotions with your goals, persist through setbacks, and cultivate supportive connections. Over time, the invisible pillar grows stronger, carrying you forward, creating momentum, and ensuring that your efforts yield results far beyond what conventional strategies could achieve. Success, as Hill implies but never fully articulates, is less about what you do and more about who you become in alignment with this invisible pillar. Once you harness it, there is no limit to what you can achieve.